Hello and welcome back to the house and Fata Morgana. It's been 2 weeks for me, because last weekend I was at Dokumi, a local convention. I posted a bit about it on Twitter in case you're interested, but let us get right back into the story. Mel's part of the story, or his perspective, basically. We didn't learn that much new last time, but I think we're going to get into the juicy bits now. Nearly recovering was a huge weight off my shoulders. Now everything could go back to the way it was, quiet and unremarkable. I could finally go out and get a real job, forget about my old life, live like a regular old commoner. That was what I was going to do, for the both of us. The problem was, Nelly hadn't actually recovered completely. She was in nearly perfect health the first few days after drinking Morgana's blood. But soon her fever came back. She stopped being able to get out of bed, and to top it all off, she started having lengthy coughing fits. During some of them, she coughed up a little bits of bloody phlegm. I nearly had a panic attack. So I rushed down to Morgana's cottage and told her what was happening, to which she responded with a quizzical tilt of her head. Nelly's health meant everything to me. It certainly wasn't the curiosity her head tilt seemed to make it out to be. But it didn't seem to bother her at all. The miracle took place, but it didn't persist? That doesn't make much sense. But it's true, she can't get out of bed. And it's not a problem with her faith. I've been teaching her the word of God every night. And she absolutely believes in you, in her saint. Lower your voice. I will perform another miracle for her. You'll do it again? I will not forsake those who are in need. And it'll stick this time, right? I cannot promise anything. But why? Your miracles aren't supposed to be temporary, are they? Whether they are or not is decided by you and your sister. You're my only hope, though. Please, do not worry. If a second blessing is not enough to cure her of her ailment, then I will visit and give her my blood as many times as necessary. I will gladly give her every last drop of blood in my body. I assure you, my father does not want to see two young souls like yourselves torn apart. And neither do I. We should get going. Oh, all right. It's not eerie at all. For the second time, Morgana had Nelly drink of her blood. And for the second time, she was healthy again the next morning. And for the second time, she fell ill again shortly thereafter. Her fever returned. I went to get Morgana, and she gave Nelly her blood. The cycle repeated again and again. And every time, I had to watch her go through that ceremony. It was exhausting. And but I wasn't sure I could handle it much longer. I started thinking maybe there wasn't anything sacred about any of this. That it was as blasphemous as it looked from the outside. I was making a girl cut her own wrist and feed my sister her blood. Nothing about that sounded right. But I had nowhere else to go. No one else to ask for help. When I was with Morgana, listening to her words of reassurance, she, without fail, wiped away all the doubt I had. It wasn't until after she left that the wave of regret hit me. I wasn't sure what was right and wrong anymore. I wasn't sure what to do anymore. Every time I went to see Morgana, it got more and more difficult to look her in the eye. I stopped asking her on walks as often, and I stopped trying to have chats with her, not so much out of a sense of guilt, but because I was getting to be afraid of her. Understandably. On one of those draining days, someone knocked on the door. I hadn't asked Morgana to come down that day, so I wasn't sure who it could be. Nellie was asleep in our bed, so I quietly rose from my seat and made my way to the door, trying not to wake her. Who is it? Hello? Who's there? I had an inkling of suspicion, but having been raised in such a sheltered environment, I didn't understand exactly how dangerous it was to thoughtlessly open the door to anyone who came knocking. I pulled the door inward a couple inches and tried to take a peek through the crack. When, out of nowhere, someone grabbed my shoulder and shoved me, helpless to resist, into the house. A man stood there above me. Hello? It is him. We finally get to see that dude. Should I go back to my deep voice? It's a little trailing, but... okay. What do you think you're doing? What do you want from me? I don't have anything valuable. I'm just a regular old peasant.
I am not here to rob you.
What?
You're in contact with a witch, are you not?
Huh?
The girl who lives by the lake calls herself a witch.
Witch? I don't know any witch. The only one who lives there is a saint.
A saint? I was told she was a witch. But regardless, there's a girl who lives there with miracle blood, no?
Ah.
Looks like I've got the right person.
What do you want from me?
I want you to help me.
Huh?
I need you to lure the witch out into the open.
Okay, going straight forward. Interesting. I thought there might be maybe a way, you know, that Mel is strict a bit more, but okay. And why do you need that?
Because I need her blood. I need to get my hands on the witch's miracle blood.
Then go ask her for it yourself. Why should I have to help you?
She won't open the door for me. But you, I've seen you talking to her. You seem to be quite friendly with the witch. Taking little walks around the lake.
How?
I need your help.
And what are you going to do once you have her outside?
I have orders from the Lord to take her captive.
Again, not even hiding the intentions. Okay. What? The Lord? Why would he?
That is none of your concern.
You expect me to buy that?
All I need from you is to get the witch out of that house.
Why would I?
She doesn't trust me. I could always force my way in, but there's a chance something might go wrong, and I can't risk that. If she hears your voice, she'll open the door, yes? The witch trusts you, unlike me. With your help, there's no risk of anything going wrong.
You barge in here and tell me you want to capture her, and you think I'm just going to agree to help? Like hell I will.
Oh, don't worry, you'll get your share. You need the witch's blood too, right?
I don't care about getting a share. You're asking me to deceive her. I don't care what you think she is. She hasn't done anything wrong. So no, I won't help you capture her.
You leave me no choice then.
He approached the bed where Nellie slept, drawing a sword and pressing the tip against her throat. It happened so quickly and without any warning, my mind couldn't keep up. I stood there, mouth half open like an idiot. If I were courageous, if I were gallant and brave, then maybe I would have grabbed him, pulled him away from Nellie. But my legs seemed to be severed from my mind. They were frozen to the floor like two useless rocks.
You have two options. Either you say no and protect the witch.
Get away.
Or you help me capture her.
Get away from her. Right now.
And if you choose the witch, I kill the girl.
Get away.
Make your decision.
Get away from her.
You have until the count of 10. If you don't choose, I kill the girl. 10, 9, 8, 7. 6, 5.
Okay, I'll do it. I'll help you. So get your sword out of her face. Don't kill her.
I thought you'd hold out until the last second. Well, what are you waiting for? Let's get going. 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . .
。 . . . . . . . .
Get moving. You pitiful little boy.
Just like that. Wow. Not even, not giving him any time to process, to think it over, Yeah, what would you do? Yeah, it's... Oof. I felt like jumping into a lake. I couldn't make sense of how I had ended up in such a position. Just a few months earlier, I had been living back at my family's estate, hardly a worry in the world. Nellie had been healthy and happy. It hadn't been exciting, no. But I had figured that was how things would always be. That one day I would fall for some noble girl, Nellie would get jealous, and I would have to spend several days, or even weeks, pacifying her. Everyone would be happy, a life free of troubles. Because that was normal, and I was normal. So what was I doing, living in some tiny cottage so far from home, feeding my sick sister miracle blood? What was I doing, walking beside this barbarian? What was I doing at all? I was conflicted. Part of me hoped we would never arrive at the lake. And part of me wanted to get there as quickly as possible, so I could be done with all this. But time plodded on no quicker or slower than normal. And we arrived at Morgana's door in short order, irrespective of my own selfish hopes. The thought of what was going to happen next filled me with a crushing sense of guilt. I may have been afraid of Morgana, but I had no grudge against her. I was actually quite grateful to her. She was still healing Nellie, even if the ceremonies to do so inspired fear in me. She didn't hesitate to cut her own wrist open for Nellie, and for me. She didn't grimace or even frown, though I knew it had to hurt. I knew damned well she wasn't a bad person, that she hadn't done anything to warrant being taken into custody. She might very well have been a genuine saint. But there I was, selling her out because a man with a sword threatened me. Well, threatened your sister, which is... yeah, oh god. Just a tough situation to be in, really. Oh, Father who art in heaven, please forgive me for what I am about to do. Please, please forgive me.
Quit sniveling. You want her to get suspicious?
But how? I can't, please, oh God.
Stop crying. Or would you rather I kill you here? Just close your eyes. It'll be over before you know it. Do it. Call on the witch.
Who's there? It's me. I'm not here. about Nellie today. I'm sorry for being so distant lately. I want to talk things over. I thought I heard a faint gasp through the door, and then she responded. I want to talk to you too. Why? Why did she have to want to talk now? She had always been so curt, so rational, so quick to cut down my fantasies. Never one to get emotional or sentimental. She had always given off the impression of being something greater than we mere humans. Always been so aloof, never giving any indication she thought anything of me at all. So why? Why did she sound like a normal girl now? Why was her voice trembling slightly when she said she wanted to talk? Why now of all times? Get back! No! Stay away from me! No! Help! Don't kill me!
Take it.
What?
That's your share. Should last you long enough.
Why? Why? Why did you take my arm? What do you mean by share? Why? Why? It all happened in less than a minute. I told her I wanted to talk. She opened the door. Then I heard a sound like the wind whipping past my ear. And the next thing I knew, her cottage was covered in blood. Never once did I expect anything to happen how it did. When he'd said he wanted to capture her, I took it to mean exactly that. I hadn't thought he would turn brutal. That he would do something so horrific. After the man cut her arm off, Morgana tumbled to the floor, floundering about as he watched, blood trickling down the curved blade in his hand. The screams were indistinguishable from those of a normal person. Her arm. Kneeling in the grass at the lake shore, I vomited and I vomited and I vomited. The things I had seen in the cabin were far too much for me to handle. I tossed the arm, Morgana's arm, the man had given me, into the lake. What else was I supposed to do with it? It was an arm. A human arm. You would have to be insane to go around carrying someone's severed arm. I tried to convince myself it was all a dream, some terrible nightmare, but I could still feel the warmth of her skin fresh on my hands. The warmth of her blood on my fingers, dragging me back to reality. My mind couldn't keep up with the flood of thoughts and emotions and images. I wanted to close my eyes, but I was too afraid I would find the bloodbath in the cottage on the back of my eyelids, which left me with nothing to do but wail. I was horrified at what I had done. I knew that I was the one who had set it all in motion. If I had kept quiet, Morgana wouldn't have had her arm cut off. But I didn't want to admit it was my fault. I didn't want to accept that I had caused it. I did nothing wrong. It's not my fault. He threatened me. So it's not my fault. I had no choice. I didn't do anything. I frantically scrubbed my blood-soaked clothes in the lake. As I watched the red cloud spread, I knew I was defiling something pure and beautiful, but my awareness of that fact was slowly dissipating, like the blood through the clear water. By the time I had gotten all the blood off my clothes, the sun was beginning to set. I came back to my senses at the sound of a bird chirping, and quickly recalled that I had left Nellie alone at the house. My legs were shaking, and I could barely keep myself upright, but remembering her gave me enough motivation to drag myself back home. If she hadn't been there waiting for me, I seriously might have thrown myself into the lake instead. Mel? What's the matter? Dearest Mel? Where have you been? Mel? I'm so sorry. What? I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Will you ever be able to forgive me? Dearest Mel? I never meant for this to happen. I'm so sorry. Please, I'm begging you to forgive me. I'm begging you. Were you not able to get my medicine? Is that what you're crying about? It's not that big a deal, Mel. I'm just fine. Honest. I'm alright. Thanks. I wanted to forget everything. I wanted to forget about my involvement, about the horrible things I caused to happen. But whenever I lay down to go to sleep, I heard her screams, Morgana's animalistic howls. I saw her cottage, blood splattered everywhere. I felt her severed arm, still warm in my hands. From that day on, what sleep I got was hardly restful. Nellie probably didn't notice anything through a feverish haze. But I'm willing to bet I looked like hell. Praying time would cause the memory to fade. I started looking for doctors again. Instead of clinging to a miracle, I would try to have Nellie's sickness cured the way normal people did. At some point though, all that money I'd been given started running low. If I'd thought about it for 2 seconds, I would have seen it coming. I hadn't exactly been frugal in my attempts to find a cure for Nellie, nor had I been especially concerned about money when she fell ill. I was so used to living like an aristocrat, and I hadn't succeeded in breaking those old habits. Which left me with only one thing I could do for Nellie: be with her day in and day out. Every day that passed, I lost a little more hope. If I couldn't do anything and Nellie died, I would be utterly alone. And that was what scared me more than anything. The nightmares were eating away at me, leaving me with nowhere to run. And if I didn't have someone there with me, I wouldn't have been able to hold myself together. After 3 or so days of me sitting by Nellie's bedside, hardly moving, there was a knock on the door. Who's there? Who is it?
Open the door. Unless you want me to kick it down.
My suspicion was correct. I couldn't think of anyone else who would come visit. But what I didn't know was why he had come back. I don't want anything to do with you anymore.
Open the door.
Leave me alone, please. I want nothing to do with anything you're doing.
Open the door.
No, I'm not letting you in for any reason.
Okay, then I'll break it down.
Don't. My sister's inside, sleeping. I don't need you waking her up.
Then open it.
What do you need? I did everything you asked me to already.
What happened to the witch's arm?
I threw it. I threw it away. You really think I was going to keep that? A person's arm? Mel? What's going on? Do we have a visitor? Nellie. I should get them something to drink. Don't worry about it, Nellie. You get some sleep, alright? Can we go outside? I'd really rather not talk in here.
Fine by me. So that's your sister. Explains why you look so much alike.
That's None of your damned business.
You wanted the miracle blood to cure your sick sister, did you not? And you're telling me you threw the arm away?
I mean, honestly, that was the smartest thing to do. I mean, the blood wouldn't have been fresh. Not to say nobody can prove that it really did cure Nelly in the meantime, even if it was directly from Morgana's living body. But like, dead blood, so to say, it can't be better. It can't be the same, you know?
Are you interested in getting more blood?
What?
We're taking the witch's blood, turning it into a medicine and selling it through the church.
Selling it? You're doing business in a house of worship?
No. I suppose we're technically giving it away. But we're asking for tithes, so really, it's the same thing.
I was wondering for a second, like, why would he involve Mel any further than he already did? Like, it's bad to have a witness as it is to even just taking Morgana, but to keeping her and doing that with her blood. Why would you want anyone to know, except if he's basically advertising to Mel to go buy some, you know? This is all so fucked up.
I'm not from this land, so to me it looks no different than a business, but the people here, they see it as charity. The Lord says if you'll assist us, He'll provide you with the medicine we're making.
Okay, I see. The Lord? Why would the Lord be...
Well, if I know. Because it seems like good money. So, will you help us?
You're gonna make me get my hands dirty for you again? I can't. Not again.
Oh, right. I forgot to mention one detail. You don't have a choice this time.
Did he really have a choice before, though? I mean, in a sense he did, but... you know. Gosh. Huh?
You know about the miracle blood. Which means we can't let you go unattended.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Okay, you just want to get a cheap worker. I see.
If you say no, I have permission from the Lord to kill you on the spot.
Why?
So, will you help us? Or will you die here?
What was the right thing for me to do then? Should I have fought back and died? Should I have tried to run? Should I have taken my own life? I'm sure you've heard enough to know by now that I'm a weakling, a pushover. I didn't have the spine to do anything but agree to meet with the Lord. He told me about the mansion, and he gave me one of a set of 3 keys. I wanted so badly to get rid of the key. But with that man's shadow constantly hanging over me, I couldn't bring myself to do it. Not when I could be the next one to end up losing a limb or 2. There was no way I could have disobeyed them. And that's everything that happened 6 months ago. Every day since I arrived here, I've brought Morgana breakfast and supper. She doesn't say anything, but I saw it in her eyes the first time I stepped through that door. How could you do that to me? I've never looked her in the eyes since, because I'm too afraid of what I might see in them. So, all in all, he was forced, whether to protect his own life or Nellie's. Yeah, I mean, what I would be interested in is if he would have done the same if it wasn't for Nellie, if it was only him. I mean, it's no shame to want to protect your own life. Let's say it how it is, okay? Yeah. But I don't know. It's definitely different when you still have someone there who you also want to protect, someone who's relying on you. So that put him in a really difficult situation. And I mean, as we had, I think, all expected before, out of the 3 men, Mel is still the least, like the last one to blame. He might have enabled the swordsman to take Morgana at that moment, but yeah, he didn't initiate it. He was forced to, and even if he didn't help them, they would have just done it anyway, right? So his involvement may not be the greatest, obviously, but I still think he is the least guilty out of the 3 of them. But I'm sure we'll see the other stories as well. And that is how I ended up here. So he was threatened. He didn't actually want to cause Morgana harm. That doesn't excuse what he's done, though. See? What did I tell you? I'm not at all the brother you thought I was. Mock me, ridicule me, call me worthless, a coward, a terrible person. Go on. What are you waiting for? But you were threatened, Mel. He said he would hurt me. Hurt you. That's the only reason you went along with him. You didn't do anything wrong, dearest Mel. The other man is the bad guy, not you. You did the best you could. You didn't have a choice. That terrible man forced you to do everything. Nellie. You didn't do anything wrong, dearest Mel. No, I didn't. I didn't do anything wrong. I had no other choice. That's not true. All you're doing is closing your eyes. What? You mustn't cuddle yourself. What was I supposed to do then? Don't be mean to my Mel. Did you really do the best you could? Did you even once try to do something about the situation, as hopeless as it may have seemed? Could you not even conceive of any other options? Could you not have come up with something else to say at Morgana's house? Something that might have given her even the slightest clue she was in danger? But when she opened the door, did you do anything? Did you even so much as attempt to stop him? My legs were shaking so bad, I couldn't move. There's no way I could have stopped him. Then at the very least, you shouldn't have fled. You should have stayed and told her the truth. That you weren't there willingly, and maybe she wouldn't have felt so utterly betrayed. But he was there. You think I could have actually stayed there with him? Not a chance. And it's not like Morgana would have... She opened the door because she trusted you. She isn't the easiest person to read. But she was opening up to you. And what did you do with that trust? Stop it. Please, you've made your point. It's not all Mel's fault either. If anything, he's a victim. He was just trying to protect me. Were you listening to anything he said, Nelly? You were not Mel's first priority. He did what he did for his own sake. Well, what did you expect me to do? Pull courage I don't have out of thin air? What's so wrong with self-preservation? There was nothing I could have done to stop him. I love to see you try and do any better. Then maybe you'll understand how scared I was, how little I could have done. It must be nice to be an outsider, to talk about my experiences like you know anything, analyze my decisions, go on about what I should have done. You don't have a damned clue how terrifying it all was. How I felt having to go through it. Oh yeah, you're right. It sure would be the courageous thing to do to sacrifice your life for someone else. But you know what? People like that only exist in stories. Oh, about that. Except you don't actually understand that. You just want to give me crap for not being perfect.
Do you want my pity? Is that all you want?
If I tell you I feel bad for you and oh, how hard it must have been, will that satisfy you? Do you not want to know what you can do now? What's even left to do? Nothing I do is going to make her situation any better. It won't make her arm come back.
All is not yet lost.
Open your eyes. Take a good long look inside yourself. Think about what you can do. Stop sitting on your hands, telling yourself it's too late. There's still time to make a difference. You just have to commit to act. I don't think you're an especially bad or cowardly person. I think you're an ordinary young man. It might sound like I'm telling you to do the impossible. But soon, the time will come when you must make your choice. And you must stand up and take some responsibility for what you've done. No one's childhood lasts forever. The good days are long behind you before you ever realize they've passed. When faced with the consequences of your actions, you should not have turned and run, but held yourself accountable. It is, perhaps, a disproportionately large burden for you to bear, but it's fast approaching, and you need to make a decision. Find your courage. Set Morgana free. Mel. Mel. But even if I open the door for her, it's too little, too late. She'll never forgive me after.
Is her forgiveness the reason you should act?
No, it's penance for what you've done to her. Atonement for your sins. Whether she forgives you or not is beside the point. The question on the table right now is whether you are going to do the right thing. And what about her blood? Without Saint's blood, Nellie won't. You don't have to worry about me, dearest Mel. My life isn't so important that I want to take someone else's away to keep it. Oof. Wow. I'll think about what I can do to help too. It's partially my fault, after all. So please, Mel, set the Saintess free.
Your quiet life is built on a foundation of lies. And I know that by now, you've realized there's no real value in a life like that. You wanted to do something about this. You sought salvation.
Salvation. But who would give it to me?
I already told you I would.
But why?
Because I promised you.
And you expect me to believe that?
Yes.
If you choose to sit here and wallow in your regret, there's no going back. Now is your only chance to make a change. Mel. Oh, all right. I'll help. I'll help you set her free. Dearest Mel. I knew all along that that was what I needed to do. But I could never bring myself to act on it. There was no way I could accomplish anything alone. I'm basically helpless on my own. Everything about this is so completely outside anything I've ever had to deal with before. So I had no way of having any idea what I was supposed to do about it. God can be pretty cruel. Why would he force a boy like me to make such a difficult choice? Yes, he can be. You were made to be part of a more normal, a less tumultuous world. But you've come too far to go back to that. So the least you can do is change the world you're in now. Yeah. I doubt I need to remind you, but you know you can't get in with only my key. You need all three, and the other two, they don't feel an ounce of remorse. Taking their keys won't be easy. Easy or not, we have to get them. And I'm sure there's a way. There must be. Just so we're clear, you're not going to overpower them. The guy with the sword's much stronger than you, and he knows how to use a blade. And he's the Lord's bodyguard, so you're not getting near the Lord either. Even the two of us together wouldn't stand a chance against him. You seem pretty weak, from the looks of it. From the looks of you. Who knows? Maybe I am stronger than you.
God, I really do want to hit this boy.
Deep breaths, Michelle. Deep breaths. There must be some way we can get their keys. I know they both have people they're close to. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. We have to go over the people, like we did with Mel anyway, so yeah. Huh? People they're close to. We can talk about that later. Now that you've made your decision, talking with me isn't your top priority, is it? Mel. Nelly. I'm sorry for involving you in all this. And I'm really sorry for being, well, what I am. I'm no prince, that's for sure. You always were my prince though, dearest Mel. You did your best to be the brother I wanted you to be. Honestly, I adored the way you fawned over me. All that affection just felt so good. What? It made me feel like I was special, important. Having someone to care for, to pamper, it was empowering. That's the kind of guy your brother is. If someone else, some other girl were ever to show up and call me her prince, say she loved me, I would probably try and act like a prince for her too. Why would you say that? Because all this, it's been so hard on me, such a huge weight on my shoulders, that every so often I would think, just how much easier would it be if I could get rid of her? If Morgana was just a regular girl, not a saint or a witch or any of that. Just a pretty girl about my age, she might have been the one getting all my attention instead of you. That's who I am.
That's not you, dearest Mel. You're just beating yourself up. Maybe you would have chosen her over me, but that wouldn't make you any less of a kind man.
How can you say that, after everything I just told you?
Because, Mel,
Tell me how despicable I am, Nellie. I'm not the brother you once adored anymore, am I?
You're not what I thought you were. But you're still my one and only brother. That will never change, no matter what kind of person you become. It was wrong of me to try and make you into my prince, Mel. I should have done my job as your one and only sister in the whole wide world, been there to help you as much as you helped me. I kept pushing my fairy tale fantasies onto you, and you did your best to live up to them. And I ended up forcing you to pretend to be someone you're not.
That's not true, Nellie. I enjoyed feeling idolized.
But you knew it couldn't last forever, didn't you? I should have been beside you, not looking up at you. I let you coddle me. I let myself indulge in your love. I thought everything would be alright, as long as you kept telling me how adorable I was. They were like magic words to me. I kept my eyes shut. Mel, starting today, I'm going to do my best to be your sister. I'm all done holding you to fairy tale ideals. I won't make you pretend to be a prince for me anymore. And I won't try to be a princess either. I'm just going to be your little sister. So get back on your feet and stand tall, dearest Mel. I know you'll probably have to pay for what you've done when the Saintess goes free. And I know I'll probably cry about it for days. But I won't regret making the decision.
Well, I don't know what to say. I wasn't expecting you to handle this so maturely. You're putting your big brother to shame, Nelly.
Mother once told me that girls grow up faster than boys.
She was right about that. Thank you, Nelly, for accepting me in spite of all the awful things I've done. And for having me as your brother.
You're quite welcome, dearest Mel.
Oh boy. Well, it looks like that's one problem solved. They finally reached the point in their relationship where they belong. If she could have come to terms with herself sooner, come to an understanding with him, then maybe she could have reeled in her ideals before she lost control of them. Yeah, maybe. This Nelly and the other Nelly seem to be of the same essence. They both have a somewhat excessive love for their brothers. And that love expressed itself by transforming him into a prince. If she could have done the same thing then as she did here, then maybe their tragedy could have been avoided.
This is before then, though. Since they were able to fix things up in this life, maybe it'll have a positive effect on their next life. This could change the future. I'm still so doubtful of this. I'm sorry to be negative, to be pessimistic about this. I think it's just me having consumed time travel media before. And a good time travel story usually makes it so that everything that happens did already happen, so we're getting to the same result anyway. So that's, I think, is the main thing why I'm being pessimistic, and also because this game so far has mostly shown us stories that ended badly, so I don't know. It's so tricky. I want to be hopeful, but it's hard. They may share the same souls, but they lived in completely different times. Do you really think something like this could have any effect on the lives of people hundreds of years from now? There's no way to be certain, of course. But considering how tightly the two seem to be bound, I doubt it will have no effect. I hope it has some effect.
Giselle.
I was there in the mansion as it all happened. And I just stood by and watched. I feel so guilty about that. If I had done something, then maybe it wouldn't have turned out like that. I hate what I was then. What I was until just recently. From the memories left imprinted throughout the mansion, I showed you bits and pieces of their lives. And as I told you their tale, the only thing I contributed was disparaging commentary.
I don't feel like you were that critical of them.
I absolutely was. I talked about them like they were somehow beneath me.
Yes, you did occasionally offer an opinion on someone or something you showed me beyond the doors. But the fact that you were mostly detached from the events there is what allowed me to get to the core of their characters. if you hadn't been in the position you were, so you could tell me the story the way you did, I would never have been able to talk them into helping. You contributed more than criticism. You contributed more than criticisms. Your words weren't for nothing. They made this possible. It makes me feel a lot better, hearing that from you. And if you still regret your inaction, then make up for it now by taking action here, and have faith that it will bear fruit in their next lives. I will. I wonder if Morgana might have a change of heart too. It's not like Mel wanted to bring her so much pain. He deeply regrets what he did, so maybe she won't bear quite as much resentment for him when she learns that. Yes, I know what you're going to say. If that was enough to assuage her, she wouldn't have held on to her hatred for all those hundreds of years. Still though, I hope it does something for her, however small. As do I. It's, gotten pretty late, so I'm going to take Nellie back to the cottage. Okay. If you have some secret plan to get the other 2 keys, could you fill me in on it tomorrow?
Sure.
Also, I could get you another room if you wanted. This one isn't the nicest.
No, it's fine. I've come to realize I'm more at home in less comfortable environments.
Michelle. Am I just imagining it, or was that as depressing as it sounded?
That's not quite what I was going for.
Well, anyway, if you're fine with it, suit yourself. Say, I've got one huge lingering question, if you wouldn't mind enlightening me.
Yes?
Why would you go to such lengths for me? You seem to know Morgana, so I can understand why you would be fighting for her. But me? I had a part in putting her in that tower. You have every reason to hate me. So why would you want to help me?
If this was all it took for me to hate someone, I would curse every last man and woman in the world. I bear no animosity for you. And even if I did, you've committed to take action.
That doesn't explain why you were so concerned about us. It almost seemed like you actually cared about me and Nellie. But we're complete strangers. We just met today.
Because some part of me couldn't think of you as strangers anymore.
Huh?
That's right. When he came by this afternoon to talk, he didn't feel like a stranger to me either. It was weird, like he'd known me my whole life. So I made him into my second brother.
Your second brother?
You're more than welcome to change the order, Nellie. Make him number 2 and me number 1.
I wish I could join in and be big sister number 1.
I'll have to think about it. After all that, you might be #1 material.
Whoa, whoa. Why is it even up for consideration?
I'm just kidding, dearest Mel.
Oh. I'm still kind of confused, but anyway, I'm glad someone like you showed up. I've actually been praying every night for God to send someone who can get me out of this. I really am useless all on my own. Constantly looking for someone to help me, unable to do anything by myself. And trust me, I realize how pathetic that is. Now you must have had a pretty good life to be able to be so proactive in the face of adversity. Oh boy. I bet you had everyone's respect, helped people in need, had plenty of friends who had your back, and weren't tossed out by your family like I was. You must have been incredibly blessed. I'm jealous, really. Sorry, that came out of nowhere, I know. Well, I should be going. See you tomorrow.
Good night, Michel, brother #2.
Good night.
Michel. He wasn't trying to be...
Yes, I know. I just thought it was rather funny. I'm not taking a stand because I've been blessed, but because I've got nothing left to lose. I fight for Morgana because I understand what it's like to be tortured day after day. Having experienced the loss of my siblings, I didn't want the two of them to go through the same thing. If anything, it's those two who have lost the most that are most likely to take action. It's those who have lost the most that are most likely to take action. I'm not sure if you've realized it or not, Michel. But you've gotten to be a great deal more expressive since arriving in this era. I can't see your face, but I can hear it in your voice, and I can feel it in your presence. So I'm sure it's showing there too. Making all sorts of faces I've never seen before. Some of the things you've lost, you seem to be getting back. So you can't say you've got nothing left to lose anymore. Promise me you'll let me see all these new faces for myself someday. I will. I promise. If we can manage to destroy the mansion, that should release you from its darkness and allow us to see each other once again.
I trust you. I have faith we can do this.
Wait, but with the mansion's destruction, both our souls should be returned to their rightful places, which would mean erased from existence. Giselle?
What?
I just thought I sensed you grimacing.
Wow, you felt that.
What's the matter? Sorry, I didn't want to bring down the mood. It's just, well... And I know this is asking for the moon, but... I was just thinking it would be nice if you had a life you could go back to.
If I did...
Yeah. I mean, here you are, expressive as you've ever been, walking around outside, being around other people, talking to them, after all that time in the mansion. And without a life of your own to go back to. I'm sorry. After seeing behind your door and learning how cruel and inhumane life was to you, I feel like the world could stand to do something good to make up for it.
It's done all the good it needs to. I have someone who cares enough to lament my fate. What more could I ask for?
Michel.
Thank you, Giselle. You're not the only one who's asking for the moon either. I wish I could have a life with you as the person I am now. And for that, knowing I have no future feels worse now than ever before.
Alrighty, that's enough moping around for one night. We should start planning for tomorrow. Thank you, you two are gonna make me teary-eyed there. Things are definitely looking up. It only took one day to get Mel on our side. So let's keep it up and win over the other two.
I would certainly like to, yes.
Where did all that confidence go?
The other two won't be nearly as easy to convince as Mel. I'm not even sure if we'll be able to talk them into helping.
We do have a pretty good idea who the swordsman's in this for, though. The nun. So maybe we can get to him through her, like we did today with Nellie and Mel.
Maybe. Alright, then we'll start by approaching her tomorrow.
Sounds like a plan.
The Lord, though. Him I'm not so sure about. I'm assuming he's from behind the third door. But we didn't run into anyone he was close with today. And in Morgana's telling of the events of the Harvest Festival, she only mentioned 5 people.
Let's see. The Lord, the swordsman, Mel, Nellie, and the nun.
There's one person unaccounted for.
We just haven't run into them yet, that's all. If he's the man from the third door, I can't imagine she won't be here too.
Who's losing their confidence now? In any event, tomorrow we talk to the nun. I only hope it goes as well as it did today.
You've got me. You've got me. You don't have anything to worry about. Or, all things considered, you might not even need me.
No. I wouldn't say that.
You handled Mel pretty amazingly, though. I'm not going to lie, my heart was pounding the whole time. I was afraid you were going to slip up and say something boneheaded. But you managed to keep it together. I didn't have to come to the rescue. make a book of quotes out of your performance today.
Oh, for the love of God, please don't.
So, I'm not concerned at all. Say whatever you think is the right thing to say. I'm more than happy to sit back and watch.
The more you pile on the expectations, the more afraid it makes me that I'm going to trip up. Besides, I don't think I could have done any of that without you.
Why not?
Well, my life was hardly as pride-worthy as Mel seemed to think. So I didn't really feel like I had a right to talk to him like that. But knowing you were there, urging me on, was what allowed me to act without hesitation. So, thank you.
No thanks necessary. But if you say so, then you're more than welcome. I'm glad I could be of assistance, if just a little.
That you were.
Now, let's keep this momentum up tomorrow. It's getting a bit late though, so you should probably get some sleep. What is it?
I kind of don't want to sleep.
What? Why not?
For somewhat childish reasons.
Aww, you said you won't be able to hear my voice. Are you lonely, you poor, poor dear?
I am.
Well, that's the last thing I expected you to admit to. Okay, well, do you want to stay up and talk for a little longer then? Not too long though. You need to rest up for tomorrow. And who knows, maybe I'll show up in your dreams if you wish hard enough.
The fact that I'm even able to talk with Giselle right now is a miracle and a blessing. So is it avarice for me to yearn for more, knowing I've already been granted such a great bounty? I want to see her face as much as she wants to see mine. She's infinitely more expressive than me, and I want a good long look at all those many expressions up close. I want more than her voice. I want her whole body. I want to feel her warmth. In this era, I have all 5 of my senses in full working order, as I did when I was alive. Giselle, though, she doesn't. She remains dead. As lively as she may be now, that's one thing she did not get back. I truly wish she could have been here too. She would have certainly found more joy in her renewed life than me. And she certainly belongs under the sun far more than I do. But she, rather than me, was the one left behind in that realm of darkness. A fact that frustrates me immensely. In life, I would have considered her remark about seeing her in my dreams silly and saccharine. But no. I very much hope it happens.
3 days until her death. Is it gonna switch you too? Yeah. Well, thanks for that reminder. Okay, I'm going to leave it here for today. That's a good spot to stop. The blood of the saint, yeah. Like many of you commented in the last few episodes as well, these exchanges between Michel and Giselle are really the best part of these chapters. So heartwarming, so cute. I love them. We all ship it, I think. Yeah. Oh, so fuzzy. Just to quickly come back on what Michel told Mel. I mean, he wasn't wrong to say, okay, don't coddle yourself. Like, it's hard. It's hard. Like I said before, is it really a choice if you're threatened, if your life is threatened, if the life of a loved one is threatened? Like, what would you have done? It's a really, really tough situation to be in. So I still don't think you can 100% blame Mel for helping the swordsman in that moment just to get in. And also he wasn't fully aware of what they were going to do. Like, swordsman didn't say, okay, I'm gonna give you her arm. Don't know if that would have changed anything necessarily, but you know. And also, I mean, the way Michel said, oh, you could have said something to her to warn her that she was in danger. While a part of me thought that as well, like, okay, maybe he can make something up to at least give her the littlest of warnings. Like, if it would have worked, I don't know. It was, I mean, Mel was forced into the situation so quickly too. Like, he didn't have the time to make up a plan. If he would have said, okay, like, tomorrow we go to the witch and you lure her out, maybe he would have had a little bit more time and clarity to think about what he was going to do. But yeah, I mean, who can come up with something on the spot when they're threatened, you know? So I don't think it's really fair to put the blame on him for that situation. But afterwards, I don't think Michel is wrong in that, to say, okay, but you never tried to do anything later on. So yeah, again, it's tricky. I don't know if I would have been able to keep something like that up, but again, if you're threatened, like, what could he have done? He could have maybe taken his sister and ran away, fled to somewhere, so at least he wouldn't have any involvement anymore when Morgana was already in the tower. But would that have been better? Now at least they have a starting point to get her rescued, maybe. Still doubtful of that, but we'll see. Yeah, I think that's it for today. And yeah, we'll see how conversation with the nun goes next time. I have no idea what to expect there, but yeah, as always, thank you so much for watching. Please let me know in the comments below what you think, and until next time, bye bye.